I was only able to keep this going because I kept thinking to myself, if I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But have I just run out of luck this time? Is all I hope for naught? A tent. Huh? A tent? I could see a circus tent. Mia! It looks as Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now. But I could see a circus tent from outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe! Is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. The Bear Big Circus. Maya's somewhere within a 30-foot radius of the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map. About 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry! And? I could see a mailbox under the window just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox. Okay, what else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. It felt like I was in a really old office building, maybe the 3rd floor or so. I heard her. Old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there a little longer. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later. So don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. Yeah, it's exactly like that, Pix. Don't ask, just do it. The court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will be provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. She looks at us with those judgmental eyes. Just look at that stare. She is judging us. Certainly, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before. The existence of these powers are not widely known. The police are aware of their existence, but they also think that it's unreliable. That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten us to the court to this bear's secrets? All right. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. And the police has used psychics in the past for a case, which is why, the whole thing with Maya's mother's disappearance. Why does she... Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart, one piece at a time. Yeah, DL6. At the center is a small cavity, just enough to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. So, this figurine is a container of sorts, is it? Yes, looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. It looks like there was something, really was something to that bear after all. Yeah, we just have to wait and see. A puzzle? That's right. Oh, but it looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. To people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess this was a puzzle. So, what kind of puzzle is this exactly? So, you can take it apart? How would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and then push it in. Oh, yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can now be removed. Oh, this is most interesting. Boy and his new toy. It's like it's 5 all over again. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost it. So, what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? And how would you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir for when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you. That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Joanne. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Which nurse, let's continue with your testimony. So, who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Joanne and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland, so I doubt there are many people with this same bear in this country. But this looks like it can be easily broken, especially if someone wanted to get at what's inside. Let's see. Yeah, it's not me. I'm sorry, pigs. I don't have any frame loss this over here. Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's broken. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you, huh? Then, of course, that means Mr. Engarde didn't know, right? I think it is about all I'm going to get for now. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize that there's one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there's only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What's inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we're going to find out next. Witness. Yes? You are the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves a puzzle and takes the bear apart. I have opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Joan Creda's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but, just as we had suspected, it was hidden. hidden by the victim, Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impax had a very beautiful handwriting, just as she beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Order! Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything is going at Edward's pace. So, now the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right. At least, that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it's only appropriate for the contents of this note to be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much, just to get my hands on it. And I was going to burn it, for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I cannot allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of that note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loudly and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by Engarde. About being engaged to Corrida and Engarde's role in destroying that. And about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all. And that is all Miss Impax had to say. There is one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Engarde. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word! Matt Engarde values, above all else, his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. Yeah, it is, Alex. There's no room for doubt here. Mr. the Killer's client's goal was to obtain this suicide note. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the bear with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. I find it weird that the crowd is going like that, because one of the pillars of our judicial system is the right to representation. Even if you are, it is well established and well known that you are guilty of something, you have the right to a defense. So, yeah. But that's just how it is. It is I would never want to be in a position where I have to defend, I would be a lawyer and have to defend someone I know is guilty. And but that thing is, though, this is how it is for many people. And just as a small segue, when the 28th of July happened in Norway. Was it 27th? Whatever, 22nd of July. The man who did the deed was of course represented by a defense attorney, and that attorney was getting so much hate because he was just someone who took that step and defended someone he knew was guilty. Everyone knew this guy was guilty. He had even practically confessed as much, if I recall. But regardless of the fact, you still have to have a right to representation. And yeah, it does. And it is something that is hard, but it's necessary for our judicial system to function as it should. So I feel it is very wrong for people to hate and criticize his defense attorney, because it's a necessary evil of the way our justice system works. So I wouldn't want to be in his position. I wouldn't even be near close to that case. But still, it is something you have to do. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've always said this. Let's continue. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were extremely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know. I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay. There are two deadly pieces of evidence. The figurine and the suicide note. Maybe, somehow, I can find a way out of the situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand, Phoenix. Hurry! The suicide note or the figurine. Which of these should I pursue? Well, the thing is, only the two of them know about it. I mean, only according to this here, only Adrian and Corrida knows that this figurine is the thing. That's exactly it. The note is a new thing, but there's not much else to it, really. The note is this contents, and like it's established basically that it is Celeste's suicide note. Yeah, I suppose there is. Let's see. Flip a coin. Okay, let's do like this. That's not very helpful. Hello, Mina. Multi-Twitch time, huh? And roll the ball? Yeah, so like the suicide note is new evidence, but only Kurita and Andrews knew like about this figurine, that it was a puzzle. And the answer is within yourself. Ah. So, are we doing a poll? Are we doing a poll here? I don't think I've actually used that functionality. So, let's add a poll. So let's do a vote here, everyone. I have never done this before, so let's see how this goes. Exclamation mark. Oh, okay, I messed up, but I will. So exclamation mark vote, and then one of those two. No, without the brackets, pics. I should not have done the exclamation mark after note, but I will. It just how it is now. Yep, like that. 2 votes on note. Because I actually I can't remember. Anyone else? Mina, what do you think? Fair and well. Aussie. Shrug. Busy. Fair. Tenno is feeding her Fire Emblem addiction. Let's close it then. So we have we have the notes. Please wait, Your Honor. I think Your Honor believes that Matt Engarde killed in order to obtain this note. Yes, that is correct. But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Kurita until the night of the murder. If that is the case, I say that Matt Engarde could not have known what was written on this note. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly, but I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said. Order! 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 You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately. I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense seemed to be in love with wishing more and more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It's a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying. Spying? What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt Engarde and the victim both thought of each other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weakness. And the victim, Jean Corrida, was being spied upon. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt Engarde. Order! Order! Ahem. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? You. Don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of? Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have that camera stuffed. I have that camera stuffed in the bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this gumshoes bug sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Matt Engarde's fingerprints were on there. Well, Phoenix, looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It is very obvious that Mr. Engarde learned of this suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. He got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Phoenix. Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What I'm going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence that he should really investigate. Something he should investigate? I would really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think this time we've finally understood everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence we are talking about? I can still figure out there still needs to be looked at, or should I just let it go? We will present evidence. I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright. Objection! Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You're beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey,